Good morning, my name's Gavin Oliver and I'm the Managing Director of EcoZip Adventures out on lovely Waiheke Island. The first couple of weeks were kind of bizarre. It was a kind of a form of shell shock, I suppose, once the markets closed. But then got into it and spent a lot of time tramping with the family and walking at the beach and trying to stay fit and try not to put too much weight on. Yeah, that's probably one of the most difficult questions to answer. Normally a tourism business has a horizon of sort of 24 months, maybe a bit longer. At the moment we're not even looking much further than next month, so it's really difficult to tell right now. We are seeing signs of recovery, we are getting forward bookings, and in fact we've even got group allocations coming in from cruise ship companies for the 21-22 season. So there are some green shoots, there's some bright light on the horizon, but a full recovery is really difficult to tell right now. It will come, we just don't know when. Right now, our short-term goal is to increase our midweek visitation. We're doing really well on weekends, which is quite natural because it's a domestic market, so we're seeing good visitation on Saturday and Sundays, but we'd like to bolster those numbers going into midweek business. So we're looking at educational groups, corporate groups, and basically anyone that might be able to travel during the week. I think it's well intentioned, but one of the biggest problems we've got at the moment is that some of the funding, it's not quite clear how businesses are going to access that just yet. So things like the Strategic Tourism Asset Programme, I think there was a lot of confusion over how that was going to be applied. So I still think it's early days. We do hear that there is more planned for us, and we're looking to see that with interest. Queen's birthday was brilliant. It was kind of like Christmas and Easter rolled into one. I think there was a lot of pent-up demand. Kiwis have been locked away at home and they wanted to get out and they wanted to do things, and it seemed like everybody flooded to the island. So there was a great holiday atmosphere out on Waiheke. So it was a really fun weekend to be working. I think for us as an SME, the answer to that is somewhat indistinct. We don't really know. Right now that money isn't flowing down to individual businesses like ours. It's being spent with Tourism New Zealand on campaigns. It's going to help businesses reimagine their operations. But for a business like mine, we're not actually going to see any of that money directly, but we do hope that naturally we'll benefit from the work that TNZ are doing. I think one of the key things right now is resilience. It's not business as normal, so we need people that join us, or we need people to join us that are open to change. People that, they might come with expectations of doing one thing, but the job is probably going to morph quite quickly into other things. And I think that's where people coming out of places like ITC are really important, because they tend to be quite adaptable, they're quite entrepreneurial, and they tend to come with a smile on their face, and that's 90% of success. The whole business runs around a series of standard operating procedures. There's an operating procedure for driving minibuses, there's an operating procedure for walking on our bush tracks. We developed a new standard operating procedure called SOP COVID that covered everything from how we clean the vehicles between tours, to how gear was cleaned after tours, to the use of face masks and PPE. So it added a new layer of complexity, but we got everybody in the team involved, from the most junior to the most senior team member. So we developed the plan collaboratively, so we all had a hand in it. I think one of the biggest keys with the domestic market is remembering that Kiwis are spending lifestyle, not leisure dollars. So this is money that they could be spending on the pack and save bill, or school trips for their kids, uniform, so the real essentials. So we have to be delivering a really strong value proposition. They have to know that when they're coming to us, this is money being well spent, and they're going to come away having thoroughly enjoyed the day, hopefully having learned something, and it's the sort of thing they're going to want to go home and tell their friends about. I think one of the things that's quite unique about us is our location. Waiheke Island, as everybody knows, is quite beautiful, and we've got that lovely microclimate out there. We're a really environmentally focused business, so when you look at our peers around the Auckland market, we're not better, we're just slightly different, and the way we do things is slightly different. I think we've just got a great team of enthusiastic people that are great advocates for the business and for the island. I think one of the crucial things is to remember that tourism has been through things like this before. There was 9/11, there was SARS, there was MERS, there were Gulf Wars. The industry has been rocked in the past, and the industry always comes back. And in fact, we're quite an innovative industry, and often we'll see great changes coming out of these things. So I think my advice to students right now is stick with it. The New Zealand tourism industry that comes out of this might be a different industry, we might be a smaller industry, but we're going to be a stronger industry. We've traditionally been a leader globally. Great innovation comes from the New Zealand tourism sector, and I think for ITC students and tourism students up and down the country, you can be part of that change. You can be part of a new future for New Zealand tourism.